The endgame bosses in Elden Ring have some incredible designs, but some of them suffer from poor balancing. Whether it's an overpowered ability or the boss design itself, some fights just don't feel fair or fun. Without further ado, let's get straight into this. Let's start with a perfect example of this concept, the Godskin Duo. This boss is just awful in many ways. Firstly, they both have input read to counter you when you heal. It's not after the animation that they input read, but they input read when you press the button. This makes the fight pretty unfair for the player. Of course, I found Bernal to help me with this fight. If I could use Mimic Tier on one boss, it would likely be this. Luckily, when the Noble reaches phase 2, you can stay on these platforms that he makes to completely avoid the attack. There really isn't anything bad with the Apostle in this fight. It's mostly the Noble that makes this fight unfair. However, you could make an argument for why the Apostle also sucks. I forgot to mention that they can re-summon each other after a period of time. How did this fight get past the drawing board? This fight is also inferior to Ornstein and Smo. I may have said that Ornstein and Smo were hard, but at least they were fair. After a 3-minute fight, the duo went down. Rightfully so. I upgrade my Great Axe to plus 25, and we switched to this weapon for a bit. I decided to go back into Altus Plateau to continue Alexander's questline. I could have gotten Alexander to help me with the fire giant, but I didn't want to summon him for the fight at the time. I talked to him in this pool of lava to receive a jar. You can't just run around with a jar on your head. Maybe if you had 2 katanas as well. Anyways, I bought all the keys to enter this upper area of Azula. I forget this area is even in this game. It's actually quite nice to see, and I met Alexander here. He wanted to duel off on this platform to test me. Just know, a jump and heavy attack staggers him every time. This is kind of weapon dependent though. It sucks I had to do it to him, but in the end, he exploded. This allowed us to get the Shard of Alexander, which increases the damage of our Ash of War by 15%. With the Ruin's Greatsword, this was the easiest choice of the playthrough. I ran past this bird section of the Azula, and I'm surprised I didn't get hit at all. This bird part is usually a pain as so much can damage you here. It's a shame none of the birds were white. Crumbling Farum Azula probably has one of the best atmospheres in Elden Ring. There's just so much to look at, and it's all pleasing to see. The Beast Clergyman was the next boss. He did somewhat a lot of damage to us with his rocks, but he doesn't have that much health. Phase 1 is pretty easy as we deal massive damage and we get a stagger before phase 2. Now Maliketh is my favorite boss in this game, and he's a good one too. The flow of his attacks are just so stunning, and he would be a great boss in Bloodborne. At least we have Ludwig the Holy Blade. In terms of balancing, he actually has one of the better balancing for a boss. He may reduce your health, but it's only for a set amount of time. This fight is beautiful in many ways, and I had a lot of fun in this fight. Good fight, Maliketh. Somehow, Ash flooded the royal capital, turning it into the Ashen Captial. Before continuing with the Ashen Captial, there was a talisman I wanted that you have to teleport from the Forbidden Woods to get. You have to work your way backwards to get the talisman. The talisman is Erdtree's Favor plus 2, which increases health, stamina, and equip load. It's just a little extra. If you find yourself enjoying the content, why not consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel? Your support helps me make videos like this, and it helps the videos get pushed for others to see. I paid this sad excuse for a fight a visit. Gideon doesn't need a fight at all. However, unlike the other NPC fights though, he doesn't dodge the wave of destruction. With that in mind, this fight was very fast. After Gideon, I fought Godfrey. Again, I didn't really feature him the first time around, so I'll do him justice here. Godfrey is another favorite boss of mine. I mostly like his first phase. Phase 1, like Maliketh, has an awesome flow, dodging in between his attacks, which are really satisfying. I want to be slow with this fight. He does change up his stomps to create shockwaves, but this just makes it easier. Now for phase 2. This isn't really fun. My reason for this is that most of his moves are grab attacks. It just makes the fight easy as these grab attacks are pretty telegraphed and will make things easier. I mentioned easy a lot, but for a second to last boss, Godfrey is pretty easy. I went into Castle Soul, what a name, to meet the ghostly enemies. Halloween is only a couple months away. I was riding this elevator until a knight teleported in front of me. He tried to jump scare me, when it's not Halloween. I met up with Commander Niall afterwards. Niall isn't really that balanced either. To start, there are 2 knights that help him. Both of them ended in the same way. Also, I forget to mention that Niall can also buff these knights as well. For Niall himself, he does a lot of damage. And not only that, he gives you frostbite. When you have frostbite, you take more damage. So not only does he deal a lot of damage normally, but with frostbite, he deals way more damage. The balancing of this boss is quite bad. I'm glad we are done with that boss. I grabbed the second half of the Howling Tree medallion and I stopped there. Comment below your thoughts on this video. Remember, we can reach for the stars while keeping our feet on the ground. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a wonderful and safe day.